Okay, we're going to watch Elle's breaststroke here. Elle, as you're watching your breaststroke, and we're showing you different things that we want to see on. Also, make sure you check out the email with the notes from Lynette, just different things that we're seeing that we want you to work on, things that you're doing really, really well. Just verbal cues that you can kind of do to kind of help your breaststroke stay better. The very first thing we notice real quick is we kind of see how deep your hands are going after you put your hands in. You always want to make sure that you're pushing your hands forward. You don't want to go quite so down as if you as you are right here. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we get through it. You want to try and keep your knees in a little bit better. You got a good breaststroke kick as you start to follow through, but you can kind of see your knees start to turn out right there, almost bringing them too far up past your hips. So we got to work on that a little bit. So just a couple little things. Head position looks good, so that's fantastic. You do a great job of finishing your kick. That's some of those things we like to see. Nice job of finishing into that wall. So a couple things here and there that we want to look at and touch on and see what we can do. So as we kind of start over here, let's talk first about your recovery. Right here, you got your hands a little bit above the water, which is good. We like to see your hands close to the surface. We don't want to necessarily see you coming up quite as far as you are. You want to make sure that your hands at this point right here are shooting towards this end of the wall, right? So what I want you to see is here, you can see that your hands are actually going down. Okay, so when you're going in an up and down motion, you're basically spending a lot of time doing this kind of movement here. Okay, and we want to make sure that you're always pushing forward. The reason why we're pushing forward is the fastest way from point A to point B is always a straight line. So let's work on those hands not going down and then having to come back up. So you're kind of traveling a little bit extra distance that you don't need to really do. So again, right here, if you could just get those hands going right here, you'd be perfect. So this is actually a very easy thing to fix. It's not anything big deal because you're right where you need to be with your hands in the very beginning. Just don't go down. Just look at this. So here's your hands. That's a pretty far distance going down too deep. I would say that you're probably at least a foot, maybe even a foot and a half below the water. We definitely don't want to be doing that. Now let's talk about your breathing here. Your breathing is really good. From what we can see here is you're keeping your head right in line with your spine. That's excellent. Your pull here looks great. You have high elbows. You're pressing your hands back. That's what we like to see all the time. As we come up with that breath and we start to get that in sweep in, right here, that's good. You're getting your shoulders up really high. Your hands are right underneath your chin. You're not going too far back, and that's excellent with that pull. Be curious to see what your head position looks like above water, but looking at it below water, I mean, you're really doing a great job of keeping everything in line together there. Now let's look at this kick real quick. When we start to do our kick, what we want to do is try to take our heels towards our hips, right? We want to try to keep those knees in as best we can. As you're doing your kick, you can kind of see your knees are actually past your hips, and I'm going to let's get a little bit more forward here. All right, right here you're going to kind of see. So here's where your hips are, and your knees are in front of your hips. So what you really want to do is you want your knees to be more back here, and you're bringing your feet from here into your hips. All right, so let's not try to let those knees come up quite so far. Really, what it's doing is making too much of a kick and more of a frog kick where your legs are going out to the side. As you watch your legs here, you kind of see how you turn, your ankles are out, but you're almost flat-legged there. And so you're kind of pushing back instead of actually doing more of a whip kick. So let's work on that, okay? I think if you work on bringing your feet towards your hips and keeping your knees in, the breaststroke kick is going to get a lot stronger and a lot more aggressive. You kind of see there's a lot of room to try to get all the way through that kick. If you actually made that kick a little bit faster, everything would be better. As we get into our turn here, you're looking a little bit too much at that wall. It's the first time that I've seen your head come out of position. Make sure you keep that head down. Keep that body position a little bit better. As you start to do the turn here, you do a good job of stacking those feet and you're driving your legs in the wall, but you're kind of going sideways with your legs. Remember, we want those legs, when we hit the wall, we want to see the feet here and here. You want to see the knees point in this direction here. All right? So just a little bit of change. As you come up that wall, this streamline is absolutely outstanding. You start to push off, and it looks like you're going to go a little bit deep there, which is good. You actually want to have a little bit of depth on those underwater pull or in your underwater streamlines. Good 3-second glide. At the end of the 3-second glide, what we'd like to see you do before you start this pull, which is what you're doing right here, we'd like to see you do your dolphin kick first. We're going to see you, I think, do a dolphin kick here at the end. Yeah, which is good, right? But if you actually do your dolphin kick at the beginning, you're going to be able to extend it a little bit more. Now, the other thing you want to do is when you do that pull, instead of continuing to go down, should start to come up a little bit. So you want to make sure that pull starts to bring your body up just a little bit, because I think what we're going to see is way too high of an ascent. So you can see that you had to lift your hand or lift your head. And as you're getting ready to start that stroke, look at how much of this body position here has got drag. All right. So you want to make it a little bit more of a gradual ascent. So let's rewind just a little bit here. As we go back right here, what we want to see when you're doing your breaststroke, as you come off the wall back here, you want to go about here, and then you want to gradually go up. So you're probably a little bit too deep off that wall. It's the right idea. We love the fact that you're trying to get a little bit deeper off the wall, but let's not go quite as deep as we are there. And again, keep that head down. I think you had to lift your head up just to see where you were. But as you start that first stroke, you're right where you need to be. So the breakout stroke there is perfect. I mean, you did exactly what you need to do. When your hands start to press out past those shoulders, that's when your head has to come up. That was excellent. So way to go. Keep it up, Elle.